This week from GNC Week in Review, powered by GeekNewsCentral.com. Sony invites you to get a PS5. Then again, you might not get one. There are some people that are going to back to school who might not be able to get a laptop. And while the US might get average 5G download speeds, the rest of the world surpasses the US. Those are some of the tech news stories from this week, and it's Friday, August 28th, 2020. My name is Kirk Corliss, and it's episode 68 of the GNC Week in Review podcast, part of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. Thank you so much for tuning in for this week's episode. We are streaming live at gncweekly.com/live, as well as Facebook Live, so please be sure to say hello in chat or comment. Also, be sure to subscribe, like, and subscribe to the GNC WIR channel on YouTube. If you miss a live video, that's okay. You can always catch the replay later. If you are a listener, please be sure to subscribe to the podcast, where you can find on the right-hand side column at gncweekly.com, be it Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, your favorite podcast app. You have a comment on social media, be it on social media, be it on social media or email, and that all can be found at gncweekly.com/connect. A couple of things. Scott is not with us this evening. He is moving his studio to new locales. And also there's a little bit of a light, very, 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 very light tech news for this week. For some reason, I'm Scott. I am Scott. He just posted on live. Scott, I hope the move goes okay for you. So anyway, a little bit of very, 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 very light tech news from this week. Some weeks a lot of tech news, some weeks more than others. So this is one of the weeks where it's going to be really, 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 really light. So we're going to jump in it now. This week, back in June, Sony announced its PS5. They would show what it's going to look like. Very little information, some information on what it's going to look like, some of the specs, some of the games, etc. No particular launch date yet or price, which ties in to the top story that Sony has announced the latest step in its dragged out PlayStation 5 reveal, with the company opening online registration to possibly receive an invitation to be one of the first to pre-order the console directly from PlayStation. According to Sony's announcement, there will be a quote limited quantity of PS5 consoles available for pre-order this holiday season. The invitation program is a chance for existing PlayStation customers to get their shot and be able to order the upcoming console. As Sony's FAQ page notes, filling out the registration form does not guarantee an invite to be able to pre-order the console, with invitation distributed based on, quote, previous interests and PlayStation activities. And even if you don't get an invite, you're still not guaranteed a pre-order. Each invitation will be open for a limited time and has limits on just a single console pre-order per PSN ID, along with 2 each of the new DualSense controllers and other PS5 accessories. Additionally, you'll need a U.S. address to ship your PlayStation 5 to. Consoles will also only be available while supplies last. So if Sony does invite you, you want to act quickly. And again, there's no information on a price or an actual release date for the PS5. But as far as the holiday season, something tells me that's not going to happen. Maybe, but with Microsoft with its Xbox launch, it may. I don't think it's going to have a chance to jump into the holiday season. In other news, laptop shortages across the United States could greatly affect schools as classes start up again. Due to hardware delays, laptops might not arrive in time for the start of virtual classes. This is from report from the Associated Press. Three major PC manufacturers, Lenovo, HP, and Dell, have a shortage of almost 5 million laptops. The shortage is a result several factors. The AP is reporting that according to right, yeah, Scott's asking on chat on he asked this doesn't lock you in a pre-order, right? It's just an invitation to pre-order. Yeah, it's just an invitation to pre-order, but there's Scott, there's no guarantee that you're going to get one. So people, so you can pre-order, but something tells me you're not going to. Excuse me. Something tells me you're not going to get one. So it's like a little bit of roll the dice. All right. So going back to the news, according to a report by the Associated Press, three major PC manufacturers, Lenovo, HP, and Dell, have a shortage of almost 5 million laptops. The shortage is a result of several factors. The AP reports that according to interviews with over 24 schools, school districts in 15 states, PC suppliers, and computer companies and analysts, the Trump administration's sanctions on Chinese suppliers exacerbated the shortage. Tom Baumgarten, who is a superintendent of the Morongo Unified School District in California, said to the AP, quote, this is going to be like asking an artist to paint a picture without paint. You can't have a kid do distance learning without a computer. Baumgarten's district has 8,000 students that qualify for free lunch, and most of them need computers for distance learning. The Denver Public Schools District is waiting for 12,500 Lenovo Chromebooks, which were ordered in April and May. That district has managed to obtain some devices, but according to Laura Hussein, who's an IT director for a district, it will reportedly fall about 3,000 devices short. Lenovo sent a letter to customers in late July, which pointed to, quote, trade controls as a cause for hardware delays. Matthew Zielinski, president of Lenovo North America, said in a letter, quote, this delay is a new development and is unrelated to supply constraints previously communicated. Lenovo did not respond to inquiries from the AP, though a Lenovo official stated that the company had a backlog of more than 3 million Chromebooks. This is according to Daniel Thigpen from California's Department of Education. The shortage affects schools and school districts across the country, including Montana, New York, Indiana, Maryland, Ohio, New Hampshire, California, and Alabama. That's all according to the AP. And HP spokesperson says to the AP, quote, we are continuing to leverage our global supply chain to meet the changing needs of our customers. Dell had a similar response to the AP saying, quote, we can't comment on demand and supply specifically, also adding that it's trying to, quote, fulfill orders as efficiently as possible. Reporting this week, from OpenSignal, average 5G download speeds in the US are 50.9 megabits, a nice step up from average 4G speeds, but far behind several countries where 5G speeds are in the 200 megabyte to 400 megabytes. From these statistics, which presented to OpenSignal, which presented average 5G speeds in 12 countries based on user-initiated speed tests conducted between May 16th and August 14th. The U.S. came in last of the 12 countries in 5G speeds, with 10 of the 11 other countries posting 5G speeds at least double those of the U.S. The U.S.'s average 5G speed is 1.8 times higher than the country's average 4G download speed of 28.9 megabits. User tests in neighboring Canada produced a 4G average of 59.4 megabits and a 5G average of 178.1 megabits. Taiwan and Australia both produced 5G averages above 200 megabytes, while South Korea and Saudi Arabia produced the highest 5G speeds at 312.7 megabits and 414.2 megabits. In the US, average download speeds for users who access 5G at least some of the time was 33.4 megabits. That figure include both their 4G and 5G experiences. This was the second lowest of the 12 countries surveyed by OpenSignal, with the highest speeds coming in Saudi Arabia, 144.5 megabits, and Canada, 90.4 megabits. The US fared better in 5G availability, the percentage of times which users are connected to 5G. The US figure in that statistic is 19.3%. Fifth best, with Saudi Arabia placing first at 34.4%, and the UK placing last at 4.5%. Apple has agreed to pay $9.75 million to settle a class action lawsuit over charging issues with its Powerbeats 2 wireless earphones. This is from Apple Insider. Launched in 2017, the suit focused on the advertised claims of durability, sweat resistance, and battery life, alleging the earphones had a, quote, design defect that caused them to stop holding a charge after a short amount of time. The plaintiffs also accuse of Apple of not repairing or replacing devices within the 1-year warranty period. Apple denied all allegations, saying it's only settling, giving the, quote, risks, uncertainties, burden, and expense of continued litigation. This is from the agreement. Lawyers have been notifying Powerbeats 2 owners of the settlement by email. If that is you, you have until November 20th to submit a claim. After that, the $9.75 million, minus the lawyer's fees and administrative costs, of course, will be meted out to the applicants based on a point system. The lawyers estimate that $76 will go to those who can supply a proof of purchase or repair, with around $38 going to those who can't. The Powerbeats price at launch was $200. In the Do You Need Help with Your Tech this week? And for those who are watching live, I will pull up the screen right now. Over on computerworld.com, 14 ways to speed up Windows 10. It'll walk you through step-by-step on changing your power settings, disable programs that run on startup, ad blocking the way, which these honking ads, OMG, drives me nuts. Use Ready Boost to speed up disk caching. So we'll have a link up in the show notes at gncweekly.com for this episode 68. Over on AndroidCentral.com, the best Android phones under $200. There is the best overall, the Moto G Fast, best alternative, the Moto E, and so on. Also on AndroidCentral.com, the best Android phones under $300. So you have the best overall, they say the Moto G Power, the best alternative, the TCL 10L. And also on AndroidCentral.com, the 15 best Chromebook tips and tricks. It'll walk you through on use third-party DNS, type Unicode characters, use Chrome overview. You can see all of your keyboard shortcuts and so on. There's more that'll be shown in the show notes that I'll have for you. On the Verge.com, the best streaming device to buy right now. They're saying the Roku Streaming Stick Plus. Then we have the Roku Premiere, Apple TV 4K, and the Amazon Fire TV Cube. And I'll have a link up in the show notes they can check out. There's a lot here. And lastly, from Engadget, how to buy a gaming laptop. It'll walk you through on what's your budget, what kind of CPU and GPU do you want, and it'll walk you through on that as well. And I will link up in the show notes that you can check out as well. And finally, on the short week of short week of tech news, and I'm about to pull this in a second. Give me a few seconds here. If you're watching live, I'm just doing a little bit of multitasking here, and we're going to get that going here. Okay, here we go. And this is from. And just wait for this page to load here. And I apologize because I had it up in a second earlier. Okay, there we go. Okay, so on August 14th, TikTok user at @JackPaul_Jones was bored at work when he decided. Go back here. Okay. When he decided to see what would happen, now if you're watching live, you'll see the video on TikTok, where he decided to see what would happen if he glazed a donut over and over again. He had the idea, listen to this, of glazing a Krispy Kreme ring donut 25 times, making a white ball that somewhat resembled a donut. He filmed it, uploaded a video, which has gained, as of this week, maybe more, 4.6 million views and 860 likes to TikTok. And if you're watching live, for the viewers, I'm showing the video right now. He said that, quote, since it was a slow day at work, we decided it was time we experimented. Our shift manager was skeptical, but we decided it needed to be done. So then he proceeds to send the donut through the glazing machine 25 times. Every time the icing on the Krispy Kreme ring donut gets thicker and thicker. He revealed that he was doing it for over an hour and said, quote, we realized we created a monster as the donut turned into a white ball of icing that hardly resembled a donut at all. The end product was so heavy that it almost tore through bags so I had to use a box. Oh, and if you can see, and that's, I mean, what an incredible amount of time to glaze a donut over and over and over again. And I'm not a fan of TikTok. I really haven't used it. But there's a lot of talk about TikTok over the past few months, and and this is like any indication of the I'm gonna see if I can the music. I'm gonna see if I can play the music here. If you're watching. Okay, well, there's not much music. OMG. So hey, I mean, that's anything with food. I guess what we talked about, there was a story Scott and I reported about meatball sandwich. So maybe maybe there's a hankering for some donuts tonight or this weekend or first thing in the morning. All right. And so with that, that is the tech news of the week. For very little tech news. And again, I apologize. I wish there was more tech news to report on, and hopefully next week will be more tech news and and Scott will be back as well next week as well. Thank you so much for tuning in for this week's episode. Show notes from this episode can be found at gncweekly.com. Also, be sure to check out the latest tech news and commentary from geeknewscentral.com. Also, be sure to tune in Mondays and Thursday evenings at geeknewscentral.com/live for the Geek News Central podcast. And then be sure to watch and tune in at gncweekly.com/live Friday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern. So please be sure, we will really do, Scott and I really do appreciate to like and subscribe to the GNC WIR channel on YouTube, or also please be sure to subscribe to this podcast on your favorite podcast app. Also, be sure to tune in with Scott and Abram Pilch on F5 Refreshing Technology Sunday evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern at plugitslive.com/join us. You have a comment on this week's episode, I'd love to hear from them, be it on social media or social media, be it email, Twitter, or Facebook. That's at gncweekly.com/connect. I'm on Twitter. I'm at Kirk Corliss. Scott is on Twitter at Triple T MABO. Till the next episode of GNC Week in Review. So long.